Survive the Night is a movie that seems to have all of the elements of a bad movie watching experience for me. First of all, this is a home invasion movie, and I hate home invasion movies. This one sucks, this one's overrated, this one was boring. Detest this one. I like this one because my taste in film is questionable when Keanu Reeves is involved. This one was no good, and this one was also no good. Second of all, this movie came from Grindstone Pictures, a company that I've said a few unkind things about in my YouTube channel, Nuke the Shark Official. I'll put a link to it in the description. Check out my new video on the movie Survive the Night while you're there. And finally, this movie stars Bruce Willis, a man who made Die Hard, but now just wants to die, and phones in performance after performance in spectacularly lazy ways. But honestly, this movie was just mediocre. I didn't hate it. I was a little bored, but I don't have any feelings of anger towards it, and that's great. In Survive the Night, a pair of brothers kill someone in the American South and go on the run with a bunch of cash. Before they can get safely to Mexico, though, one of these dummies decides to rob a store and a shootout ensues, resulting in the other brother getting shot in the leg. As luck would have it, they run into a down-on-his-luck doctor, Chad Michael Murray, and they follow him to his house and force him to perform surgery on the wound. If Chad fails, they'll shoot his family, including his kids, his wife, grandma, and retired cop Grandpa Bruce Willis. As with most home invasion movies, there really isn't enough material to bring this movie to feature length. The movie is very repetitive. Characters talk and talk way after they've gotten their points across, and family members escape just to get put right back on the wrong side of the gun. They probably could have cut like 15 to 20 minutes off and the film would have been better for it. I really didn't find the bad guys all that threatening either. One of the brothers is a trigger-happy maniac, but he's also really stupid. The first thing we see him do is try to rob a gas station after their big murder crime, because it's definitely worth attracting the attention of the law for the few $100s in the register. He does this even after the clerk recognizes him as someone he knew back in school. Throughout the movie, he's constantly being a fool, and we know he'll be taken down eventually. The other brother is injured, so he's not really much of a threat either. But I was pleasantly surprised that sleepy Bruce Willis actually seemed to be trying in this one. It's not up there with his classic performances from the 80s and 90s, but it's still probably his best performance in about a decade. I'm not sure what compelled him to finally care in this one when he didn't in the 3 theatrically released movies that he was in recently. He does the fight scenes, and he climbs through a window at one point, and he even brings the tears in certain scenes. They only counted one obvious stunt double doing something that Bruce could have easily done himself. This was a scene in which the double checks under the hood of Bruce's sports car. The car comes into play later, so I guess they needed an establishing shot of the vehicle, but I think that they could have done without it and kept this movie obvious stunt double free. The relationship between Chad Michael Murray and Grandpa Bruce is the heart of the film, and it was pretty well handled. Chad had to move his family in with the grandparents after losing his job, and Bruce thinks he's a disappointment. But as the night goes on, the danger brings them closer together, and they rediscover their love for each other. It's not exceptional writing, but an actual emotional core is definitely welcome in a silly VOD home invasion thriller. Overall, Survive the Night is survivable, and I'll give it like a 4 out of 10.